my name is Francesca Mensah, Mrs. I'm 32. I have just a son, one son who is a year and 3 months old. Okay, so I gave birth to him in 2019. Yes. So this is my first pregnancy, and it came with its own issues, a lot of them. But I'll just mention two major things that the pregnancy came with. So I haven't been pregnant before, and this is my first pregnancy. And when it was just about 3 months, I all of a sudden started bleeding. I didn't know what it was. So I bled. It was so bad. I didn't get time to go to my gynae for her to assess. So I went to a nearby facility, and we all thought I had lost the pregnancy, because when they assessed the volumes of the blood they were seeing, I thought I had lost it myself. So I was rushed straight to the theater, and then the doctor came and said, okay, we have to do a scan to actually determine whether we've lost the pregnancy or not. We did a scan and the baby was fine. So my question was, where did that pool of blood come from? I didn't get answers to that. So that was the first thing. That was the major thing that happened. Then the second thing is when I was 27 weeks pregnant. On my way to work one day, it came with a lot of pain. I had sharp pains and all that. Not knowing that was labor pains, I didn't know. I had the contractions and all that. So I decided to go to my gynae this time around. And then when I went, she said, you're having contractions. Baby wants to come. I'm like, this early? She said, yes. But we could do a rescue cerclage for you to hold on to baby for some time, because baby is very small. I mean, he cannot come right now. So I went straight to the theater. The cerclage was done, and the pains wouldn't stop. Through to the next day, the pains were still there, and doctor says baby is still coming. So we don't have any other choice than to let baby come. So I will have to transfer you to one of the NICU facilities. So in my case, I went to Ridge. That's where I was transferred to, because they don't have the incubators and other things over there. So I was transferred to Ridge on that day, so that baby can come and then we can have access to the NICU facility. So upon reaching Ridge, the doctors also thought it's too early for baby to come. So we have to do what we can to let baby stay for at least 28 weeks or 29 weeks, but 27 weeks is too early. So, I went through a whole lot of management over there, being hanged upside down, drags here and there, and still the contractions would not stop. Baby was still coming. So they had no choice than to take baby out. And the explanation was that there's something called placenta abruption. Placenta had already detached. Yes, so they have to bring baby out. So my question was, placenta had already detached. How was baby breathing? We didn't get answers to that. Baby was still breathing when they took him out. Yes. So some way, somehow, baby made it. And it was before going to the theater. My husband was told that we are taking 2 people, but 1 person will come. We cannot guarantee if baby will come, but we'll try as much as possible and bring mother back. So he wasn't expecting baby to come. He was expecting just myself to come back. But baby and I came back. Yeah. Baby stayed in NICU for 3 good months. So after the cesarean section, baby was taken to NICU, and they had to manage him because he was a severe preterm. That's how they called him, a severe preterm. So He laid in the incubator for 3 good months on oxygen, CPAP, everything. And he was being managed. We kept long there again because baby had a wound as a result of the needles and IV fluid. So they were looking for a line. They couldn't get one. They tried the one on the leg, and it became a very big wound on the ankle that they thought we might even lose the leg. But we didn't lose it. The wound was very huge, as a matter of fact, and that was one of the things that broke me down. Because seeing a preterm baby fighting for his life and fighting to get a wound healed wasn't an easy thing to go by. So we're managing the wound, managing preterm, and preterm comes with a whole lot of things. Preterm anemia, blood transfusions here and there, a whole lot. So we spent 3 good months at NICU. The experience was, should I say, it wasn't a sweet one. First for myself and for my husband, because this was our first child. And we didn't, before giving birth, I knew there was something called preterm. You hear of preterm, if baby is born preterm, they'll have to put him in the incubator and all that. But you wouldn't know the severity of the case until you have gone through it. So that was when we're hit with the reality, okay, so this is the case. We'll have to be here, going up and down, buying drugs here and there. For my extended family, it was as though they cannot have access to NICU. So they would come to the hospital, talk to us, pray with us, send messages here and there. It was a devastating moment, if I should put it. But, you have to gather the courage, because that child needs you. You have to be strong for the child. And that was how we pulled through. First of all, you have sleepless nights, because the thought of giving birth, your baby is somewhere and you have to be somewhere. I wonder if you even be able to sleep. I wonder if I was able to sleep, because I'll just sit down, and as soon as I wake up, I'm in a hurry to go to sleep. As early as 5 a.m., I'm there. And my husband had to also stop whatever he was doing and support me. So we have to be doing the errands, going up and down, get drugs here and there. We have to get blood here and there. There are times they will have to do a blood transfusion. They don't have the blood there available at the hospital. You have to get it somewhere else, get a screen, get a transfusion done, and all that. So it's very stressful, but it doesn't mean you should give up. It's very stressful. Absolutely. I cried so many times, and I can recount 2 incidents that made me, I broke down totally. The first incident was one morning when I got to NICU. I looked into his incubator and there was blood all over, coming from his mouth, his nose, and it was like baby was just gone. So seeing that, I broke down, I wept, and I was consoled by the nurses. It's okay, everything's going to be fine. The specialist came around, they attended to him, and within a twinkle of an eye, it was like he was back. But what gave me hope in all the situation was that during the time that there was blood all over him, he was smiling. He was actually looking at me and smiling with the blood and everything. So it gave me a little hope. I told myself, no, I don't need to cry. What I need to do is to pray for him. He's going to be fine. And he recovered. He recovered from whatever it was. And he was okay and continuing with the treatment. The second one was the wound. the wound, I just couldn't stand it. If they have to come and then treat the wound, I cannot stand and look at it. Because the pain the child was going through was just unbearable. To the extent that the surgeon who attended to that wound was frank to tell me that no preterm baby can survive the wound. But he was able to make it. Yes. So those were the two main incidents that broke me down totally at NICU. Initially, yes, because you see a tiny baby struggling to survive, struggling to feed, struggling to breathe. You stand there and look at him and I don't know. But my husband kept urging me on that, listen, this baby is here to stay. You have to be strong for the baby. Instead of crying, pray. Let's do whatever it is that it takes. Whatever it is they need us to do for baby to stay, let's do it, and baby is going to stay. So I had hope, but as human as we are, you see the situation sometimes, it doesn't look good, but you can only hope for the best. But initially, yes, I had doubts, because looking at the baby, I mean, you are seeing the situation. There were times you go, the saturations will not stay on. You can actually see baby desaturated from 90 to the 80s and all that. But you should, I mean, it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to be able to stand that. So what I realized, or what I picked from NICU, was that some parents bring their babies there. They see the baby so tiny, they abandon the baby, and they are nowhere to be found because they know baby is not going to make it, or they think baby is not going to make it. Sometimes, somehow, babies are able to pull through, and they send them to the social welfare to be taken care of and all that. So I believe if parents are able to, I mean, whatever it is, you should stand with a child, and they will make it. It was out of this world, should I say, because that's the first time you're going to hold baby in your arms. So when baby was out, my first concern, which I asked the health workers, was with the breath, because once they stay in the incubator for long, they rely on the oxygen to breathe. When you take them out, they are now going to learn how to breathe properly without the oxygen. So my major concern was, wouldn't the baby at some point stop breathing or something? And I was told it's a gradual process. That is why after baby is taken out of NICU, you continue at KMC to provide warmth for the baby. And baby will learn to breathe on its own and all that before you take baby home. But it is joy seeing the baby out of the incubator at least. Because that's the first time baby is going to wear clothes even. So it's the first time to see the baby wear clothes, hold baby in your arms and all that. It was just out of this world.
Say hi.
So I take delight in sharing my story, because you most of the times hear of preterm stories and they are talking about 30-week pregnancies, 31 weeks, like in the 30s. And if you read on preterms, the survival rate, especially for the babies in the below 29, so 27, 28 is very low. So from my story, I want to encourage every single mother who has a preterm child that don't give up. Yes, it's difficult, it's hard, but you need to stand firm with your child. And I'll plead with the fathers. I know the fathers of 21st century are doing very well. I mean, they have to be there to support the ladies, because it is not easy. It is not easy one bit. So they have to pray together, pray for the baby. Do not neglect the baby at NICU. Be there for the baby, because one of the challenges the health professionals also face at NICU is that when the parents are not there, they are not able to take 100% care of the baby, in the sense that you would have to do labs for the baby, you have to do drugs for the baby. It is the parents who have to do all those errands. So if the parents are not there, if the baby makes it on his own, fine. If the baby doesn't make it, it's no fault of theirs. That's how they see it. So I will urge all the parents, if you have a preterm baby, be encouraged by some of these stories. Because if somebody was able to make it 27 weeks, 28 weeks, 29 weeks, 30 weeks, you'll be able to make it. Stand firm. Do all that is needed for you to do. With prayers and everything, the baby is going to make it. And trust me, they are fun to be around. They are smart, they are intelligent and all that. And sometimes at my son at this age, he's not schooling. He can show you different colors. He can identify different colors. He can identify parts of his body. If you ask him, he will show you. They are very smart. So I want to encourage every parent out there who has a preterm. Don't think, oh, you see the baby tiny, you are heartbroken, you think they cannot make it. No. Stand firm with them. When you visit them at NICU, talk to them. Because that's what I learned. At NICU, there were times I'll go. First, I just used to stand afar and watch baby through the incubator. As time went on, I'll talk to him. And the next time you come, even if he's asleep, he'll open his eyes and look at you. So when the babies are at NICU, they should talk to them, pray with them. Let them know that they are here to stay and that you are ready to take care of them and they can make it and they will pull through. It's difficult, but once you gather the courage and you're out there and give them the support they need, they will make it.